So that was my first live before. Hopefully this one will be better. It's me again. We're going to be talking about assessments. So one thing that makes us different, I feel like, from a lot of centers, especially in our area, is that we are set up as much of like a school as possible, especially with these ages. So we like to make sure that we are setting routines and that we have procedures in place and that the kids have high expectations, really things that make us stand out a little bit. And these are things that we tell parents just to kind of in helping with their choices of where to choose or where to send their child, is that we really are like a school. We set up these expectations and these high expectations so that as they leave us as pre-K kids, which is our hope, and they come to us as infants and stay with us, all 4 or 5 years and go to elementary school, is that they're going to be prepared and they're going to be ready. And one way that we can ensure that these kids are prepared and ready are not just the lesson plans and the teachings and the centers and the things that we have and the things that we do, it's in the assessments. But when I say assessments, I don't just mean one piece. Assessing a child can happen in many ways. It could be very informal, where you're noticing something that the child's doing, or it can be very formal, where they're sitting down and they're actually doing an assessment with you. That assessment piece, the formal one, is something that we do 3 times a year: the beginning of the year, the middle of the year, and the end of the year. And it's just a way that we can help track the child's progress. It's also something that we can use when talking with parents. We can sit down with them, show them exactly what the kids were able to do, what they were able to tell us, what they were able to recognize or identify. And then we can also show them the things they maybe weren't so sure about. And then we can come up with ideas of what they can do at home to help, or what we can do here at school to help them reach their goals and meet that end of the year goal when it's time to move on to the next class. We will have parent-teacher conferences. We recommend twice a year. So something kind of in between the beginning and middle of the year, you might want to have just kind of show them the beginning of the year, show them where their kid is, talk to them about your desires of where you hope their child can end the year, and then also allow them to tell you where they hope or where they see their child at the end of the year. That way you have, besides just the goals on the assessment, you have an understanding between the parent of kind of the expectation that you both have for that child for the end of the year. Again, you're probably going to want to have another conference at the end of the year or even right before. All parents are going to want to see end of the year because that shows them the total growth that their child had from beginning to end. But end of the year growth can also be seen on that assessment if you want to copy it and send it home. So if you do an assessment, or if you do a parent-teacher conference right before that assessment, you probably have a good gauge of where their child is. So just make sure that you are very transparent and say, hey, I know we're meeting now, but at the end of the year, when they take their final assessment with me, I'll be sure to share that with you. Another piece that we have that is very beneficial is our portfolio system. So from the infant room all the way up to pre-K, the kids are given a portfolio. Every month you want to put a piece of work in that portfolio. So just think, as they come in as infants, if they have something every month in that portfolio, how many things you're going to be able to see and share by the end of their time here when they leave to go to kindergarten. It shows the amount of growth they had from infancy all the way up until almost a 5-year-old, if not a 5-year-old. And it just gives the parents something visual that they can take a look at, especially when we have open houses or things like that, and they can see what their child's been doing. They can see the growth that they've made. They can even see some things that maybe they can work on with them at home. But pretty much that's it. That's the one piece that basically non-negotiable for all classrooms, is that beginning of the year assessment. And that is an assessment that will be made and given to you. We have that resource. And at the beginning of the year, before the kids start, we make sure to get it all ready, because after the first 2 weeks, kind of that time of them getting used to you as their new teacher, after those first 2 weeks, then we hit it hard with the beginning of the year assessments, because we really want to see where all kids are starting and create some goals on where we hope for them to end the year. Thanks.